Réunion des Musées Nationaux Grand Palais, which is a public operator from France, have for mission to promote access to culture in France and on international level. We have different type of activities, production, publishing, mediation, acquisition, and as well art workshop and goods. The Grand Palais Immersive is a subsidiary structure of the Réunion des Musées Nationaux, which is specialized in the production and distribution of immersive digital exhibition, and I will speak some more about it in a second. All our operations are really aimed to get art accessible to as many people as possible. What I would like to share with you this afternoon rapidly is several major impulses that we have been taking the last year, let's say, period that we are all living through, and those impulses are actually part of a larger digital strategy that I will try and formulate at the end of this short presentation. In any case, I will try and specify and demonstrate each of these axes by concrete example, starting from the question of format and how we at the Réunion des Musées Nationaux Grand Palais evolve the formats of our mediation, but also the formats of creation. First of all, about mediation, a format that is very unique value is the 3D digitization. We have a large today online database with works of art from French National Collection digitized in 3D. Or people can get and see it online throughout several platforms, but it also gives us the material to use them in the new format of mediation, as, for example, Instagram stories, Spark, which is the Instagram tool for augmented reality, or TikTok. These formats on this platform are a real vector for mediation and audience reach. But it's not only about format of mediation. The new format also touches the creation, and we've hosted last summer a new type of festival dedicated for creation, artwork, directly in augmented reality. We used the platform of Grand Palais Éphémère, which is a very large space, an empty space, to present works conceived and created for this special occasion, only viewed by the interface of a smartphone. You can see here two of the works, and as you can see, the public interact with the work of art through what we might call the third eye, which is our smartphone. It was a huge success, more than 10,000 people during the weekend visiting an empty space, discovering this new format of art creation. It was so successful that we decided to have a second festival next summer, next June, and to have as well this festival available for touring. A second axe important is the evolving of the audience experience. The public implication and the inclusive experience are both a major stakes for our digital strategy. just before the first wave of the pandemic, we were almost ready to launch a Pompeii digital immersive exhibition. We couldn't do so because of the first wave of the pandemic. So we put a lot of these elements online. And during the first pandemic wave, we have this Pompeii 360 degrees offered online a vast variety of content for a vast variety of experience, not only text, videos, or podcasts, but also augmented reality, virtual reality, and other types to enhance the public experience with this content. We had the chance, though, after the first wave, to open the exhibition on site at the Grand Palais. And this is one of our prototype of this immersive Grand Palais project, which involves a large scale projection screening articulating with interactive and immersive tools. Let's see a short video. I don't know if you hear me speaking on the video, but this is how this exhibition looked like. It was more than 1,000 square meters gallery with very big projection, some artifacts, and a lot of information. So this type of exhibition that articulates immersion, narration, and interaction, creating this new format of exhibition that we are now developing, available for touring and for presentation in France and an international. This exhibition that was shown in Paris last summer hosted more than 200,000 visitors between the two waves of COVID last year. This brings me to the third axe of impulse of our time, which the needed of expanding cooperations and joint ventures models. All the examples I've showed you just now consist in collaborating with different type of partners in order to be able to realize those projects. For example, the festival I was mentioning earlier on, we've been able to do so because we have a co-production structure and a new type of partners, as such as Orange or TikTok, for example, as constitutive partners for the project. Another type of collaboration and cooperation, very important, is the way we are working with innovative startups. We know that innovation comes from everywhere, and today, especially in this domain of digital, the importance of new, agile, very adaptable and imaginative societies like the startups. So we've been putting a program that we collaborate with those type of structure in order to experiment, to try, to learn, even though perhaps sometimes the projects are not continuing, at least we are getting the experience of what we might call try and error, learn and continue in order to be updated and relevant. The fourth very important impulse that we are trying to put in is the expanding economic models. I guess the situation is the same everywhere when we see that our, let's say, traditional economic models very rely on the one hand on public subvention and on on-site entries are becoming less and less evident, especially in the situation like the last years. This is why we've decided that digital content is not just mediation or communication or an added value, which is the case, but it can also be a source of income and new economic models. So we have decided to test and try different types of online offers which participate in and take place in an economic structure. For example, a payable online visit of our exhibition. The first one, as you see, the noir et blanc, black and white, an exhibition that we actually haven't been able to open because of the situation. We digitize it and propose a paid visit in this exhibition, actually with two formula, one by everyone by himself or herself, an autonomous visitor, listening to audio guide mediation information, and another formal, which was a meeting with a mediator, having a 1 hour guided tour inside the exhibition. We tried on another exhibition, and we decided to continue this type of offers, for example, with our online courses, like a webinar that now we are doing in our auditorium, but also online. And another type of immersive online visit for heritage spaces as the Chateau de Versailles or the Grand Palais, which are proposed nowadays also in English for audience all over the world, accompany with a guide tour. So these are several types of online pay offers that we will certainly continue to explore, looking for new format and new economical incomes. The fifth and the last that I would like to share rapidly is the question of the sustainable digital and the necessity to to each and one of our each and every action that we are taking in the digital sphere, to be able to trace the energy and the CO2 emission of it, because digital is not transparent. It's perhaps transparent because we cannot see the data going through the wires, but it's certainly participating in the ecosystem situation, and it's need attention of how we do it in a sustainable ways. This is what brings me to the last slide of all these impulses, how we update our digital strategy for our institution. And actually, we articulated around three major themes, from heritage to digital creation. The example I've shown you at the beginning of this presentation. Digital for everyone, using digital as an axe for developing and opening up for new type of audience, and ensuring sustainable and digital development. These are the several examples and insight I wanted to share with you this afternoon. And of course, if there are any question, I will be happy to answer. And if not now, feel free also to contact me later on without a problem.